بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. This is our program Spirit of Values, and this is our second episode, Dr. Tariq Rashid. In this episode we will discuss the importance of management and leadership in promoting the values in organizations and in societies. But first, let's start with the main definition. What is management? How can we define the word management? Although there are several schools for defining management. There is, for example, the humanities school of management. There is, again, the bureaucratic type of management, the scientific language of management. However, the most relevant definition of management is the following. Management is an art and science of investment of resources within least time, effort, and money to enhance performance, to achieve goals through planning, organizing, leading and directing, monitoring, and controlling. So this is the big definition of management. Let's just concentrate the light on some of the words in the definition. Management is art and science. What's the difference between art and science? Science are the principles that are taught in the books of management. But art is the application part of management. And when we can differentiate between science and art, and how much is actually the managerial is composed of science or art, they said that 20% of management is science and 80% of management is an art. This science and art is to invest in the resources with least time, effort, and money. The main idea is to enhance the performance of our societies, our organizations, through a good managerial concept by applying 4 sequential functions in management: planning, organizing, leading, directing, monitoring, and controlling. Now, let's continue discussing the concept of management. Art and science, but investment of resources. What types of resources we are discussing in management? Actually, we started with 4 types of resources called tangible resources in management, but also we have other intangible resources. And as an overall, we have 12 types of resources we have to focus on once we want to invest in these resources to achieve results. These are summarized in an equation of symbols. The 12 resources are 4 M's, 3 E's, 3 T's, and 2 I's of management. The 4 M's are the main tangible resources: the manpower, or the human resources. The second is the machinery that we use, the materials, and money. These are the main 4 tangible resources. The most important is actually the human resource. The human resource should be invested to the maximum of their competencies as well as their attitudes. But also we have the other 8 types of resources. Intangible resources include the 3 E's. The environment. The environment we work in is a very important concept of resources. Either we have a positive environment in which we all work as a team, or we have a bad environment in working where the results are affected. The environment also is reflected by the location, the radiation, the temperature, the heat, everything is reflected in the environment. It's one of the main resources. The second E is the energy. And now we are discussing what we call the sustainable resources of energy. Renewable energy, getting benefit from the energy of sunlight, from water, etc. So energy is another very important resource in management. The third E is emotions. And here we need some good managers and leaders that invest in the emotions and motivation of their employees. Here comes the concept of values. How can we direct and invest in the most important emotions of our employees in order to enhance their capacity and reach our goals and objectives? The 3 T's of management in resources. Technology is a very important resource now of management. But also we have the time. Time is a major factor in a resource to be invested, and the talents. So talents, again, is a very important resource now in management concepts. The world is working towards investing in the talents of people. Once we invest in the talents of people, we are actually the highest level of achievement. Again, this is to remind you that we have an operational part of the values. The last two resources of management is the two I's, information and infrastructure. Now, let's focus on these resources and how can values affect the achievement of results. As I mentioned, the four M's, the most important is the human resource. We should care for the human resource. We should decide in planning the human resource, the number of employees, the skills they have, the professions, but their attitude should be always directed by the values of the organization. And always in the strategic planning of any organization, there are four main elements or components of strategy: vision, mission, goals, and values. So always values are there in the strategic level to direct the actions of employees and the decisions of management. So the main resource. The machinery. The machinery, we should be able to specify what types of machinery do we have, do we need, what quality and specifications, because machinery will affect the performance, and the quality of performance is reflected by the machinery we use. And to remind you, quality is one of the most important values in operation. Materials, also we have to specify the materials we are using to achieve our results in organizations. And finally, finance and budgeting and money. It's very important to make a good budget for the investment of money. On the other aspect, we have the three E's, the environment, as I mentioned, and now there is a specialty in the what we call the HSE, health, safety, and environment. We should care for our employees by providing a positive environment, healthy, safe environment for them to act. So healthy and safety are one of the most important values in the environment to reflect action of employees. And the energy of the employees, as well as the energy as a resource and emotions. On the other aspect, technology is now promoting. We are in a world of digitalizing, and the digitalized world, the performance of all jobs are now under changing process. So we have to look for the future of the jobs and how can we promote new values in our operations to achieve results. And according to one of the main conferences about the future of jobs, 10 jobs will lead the next generation: robotics, engineering, and artificial intelligence. We have also the big data and data management, our virtual reality, IoT, Internet of Things, augmented reality, all of these in a process of digitalizing everything. But there is always a question. Do robots substitute a human brain? No way. And in one of the operations, they find one robot killed one black woman. So again, who programmed the robot? There is what we call the RPA, Robotics Process Automation. If we have unethical programming for the robots, they may act as criminals. The idea is we have to manage the digitalized world by values. So technology is very important, but also we have to invest in a good value of using this technology. The last two issues is information. For information, we should care for two concepts, the two C's of information: correctness and completeness, which means I should have a correct information to rely the decision on, as well as complete information. And the infrastructure in organizations is always the strategies, the policies, the procedures, the operations in an organization define its infrastructure. So this is the concept of resources in management, the ability to invest in all these resources in order to enhance the performance and achieve the goals of organization is the target of all management processes. The main four functions in management is planning, organizing, leading, directing, monitoring, and controlling. We start always by the planning process. Values should direct our planning process. Again, for the operational side, we need creativity, innovation, quality, high performance, professionalism in acting, as well as we need to have some sort of attitude, transparency. And let me ask, what are the highest 5 values that are needed in any society, in any organization, if we want to promote values and go for achievement? So there are many values, but what are the highest 5 values in any organization, in any society we need in order to achieve results? They found the first, justice and fairness. Justice. If we do not have justice, we will have failure in operations, in objectives. When people do not feel that their managers are fair with all of them, they will never do the job. So justice and fairness is one of the highest values in organization. The second is freedom. And what type of freedom we are discussing? Freedom to choose. Freedom to choose. When we allow our employees, our kids, our society, our all people to choose based on their love and passion, we will achieve higher and better results of achievement. So freedom is a very important issue. We are against must. Must do it? No, I love to do it. Must doing is actually a very limited achievement of results and purposes. But when I love something, so freedom is the second level of the highest values we need. Third is honesty. We need honesty as a reflection of our attitude, as well as we need what we call the ability to care for others and tolerance. The highest 5 values are these. Now, we plan for all operations, projects, and initiatives in any organization to follow the objectives as well as to achieve the goals. Now, what about organizing? Organizing is how can we build a good team? Team spirit is one of the most important values in organization. Building a good team, believing in team spirit is a very important in order to achieve our goals. And there is always how can we build a good team? A good team is a balanced team of all technical people as well as they act according to the values of their organizations. So organizing is building a good team, and always in a good team we have a balanced roles between the members of the team, and we have always 9 roles in a good balanced team. What are the roles of a good team? We have one employee, which is the plant, the PL, who is the very creative person in the team, can generate ideas, give lots of ideas. But also we have the specialist, who is the consultant for the team, a very high technical person in the team for the issue of achieving the result. For example, if I am forming a team for achieving a financial issue, I'll get the highest specialist in finance. Engineering, the best people in engineering, and so on. So the specialist guy in the team is a very important role in the team. The third is the implementer, people who act, who transfer plans into actions. So these are the implementers. They are called the IMs. Number 4 in the team is the monitor evaluator, a person who have a strategic thinking, strategic decision, can read the risk, can do the what we call the future foresight. It's a very important person in the team, is the monitor evaluator. And they always care for the values, for monitoring, evaluating the performance, the values of the team. And then we have what we call the CP, completer progressor. This is the dynamo of the team, a very high achiever, result oriented, can motivate the whole members of the team to achieve the goals of the project or the initiative. And then the RI, the resource investigator person in the team, very social, can initiate relations with others. He or she will act as the spokesman or spokeswoman of the team. And the 7th role is the CO, coordinator. This is the team leader, who is a very clear vision for this person, can direct the employees, can direct the team members, can delegate issues. And the 8th role is the shaper, which is called the SH, very independent guy who always believe in giving other opinion rather than what the plant give us. And we have the final role is the team worker, TW. A person who believes always in team, cooperate with all people, can reflect, and whenever we have a conflict, the resolution of the conflict comes with the TW, team worker. So by organizing all these people in a good team, in a balanced team, we achieve a good results. So organizing in management will care for creating a organizational structure, a good balanced team in order to achieve the results. And then we start directing the actions of people. This is the third function of management, to direct and lead people in order to achieve results. So planning, organizing is only a mental process, but leading, directing towards operation, here we care for the values to be translated into action rather than just to be set as words. And then we start by monitoring, evaluating always the results to make sure that we are achieving the objectives that we set in the plans. This is the management concept of all the resources that we mentioned, as well as the processes that are there in the management. So the management role in values is to promote plans, set a good balanced teams, direct people, and care for monitoring and measuring the results that we are applying. What about leadership? Leadership is the second part of this important issue. And there are several definitions of the word leadership. And in one of the definitions, they give more than 100 definitions of leadership. This will be introduced in our next episode. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.